1979 Quasar color portable television. Quasar. Doesn't say Motorola anywhere, so it does say personal touch, vivid and soft. The knobs are missing. Let's get in on that Quasar logo right there. So this belongs to another collector, and he said it was doing something, or it wasn't doing something. It was just a light blue, dark blue raster with retrace lines. No video, no sound. Boy, that's not ADA compliant. It's hard to grab that, even with these really, really sticky, grippy rubber gloves. Dynacolor. Gimmicky. 1979. I do have the SAMs for this. This kind of, I think, might be American made. It's got the old 1/4 inch hex bolts holding it together. Made in USA of Japanese parts. So that answers that question. I like how the plate is screwed on. That's pretty unique. Got a 75 ohm. Boy, that hole has got some miles on it. That's made a bunch of people happy over the years. Ooh. High voltage is hot, man. It's too bright out here, but it almost looks like blue vertical bars, but I'm not feeding any signal into it. And it's not a dim blue, it's a bright blue. Got to be a capacitor, right? It's absolutely, positively got to be a capacitor. So brightness does nothing. Intensity. Let me turn this off. It does nothing either way. Brightness does nothing either way. All I was doing is turning the tone. We got Tijuana going on here in the background tonight. Well, usually I can diagnose these things really fast. My videos are not usually padded out, or I don't usually cover up a lot of time spent. Usually as fast as the video is almost as fast as I diagnose. I don't think that's going to be the case with this, because I have a feeling the power supply just went smoky smoke. Puffed its vape, took a hit off the crack vape. So here's what we're going to do. Since all the successful YouTube repair guys are doing it, since we got this Tijuana thing going on in the background here today, we're going to take the screws out together. I'm going to make everybody suffer through watching me take the screws out. Oh. Hold on, let me use the handle and not speed twist it with my fingers. No time-saving measures here. We gotta do this together. I think I got everything here. Okay, well, there we go. 2 minutes and 10 seconds of your life that you'll never get back. You'll remember me on your last final breath, the 2 minutes that I took up. I missed 2 here, so. There we go. Hope everybody's happy now. And oh boy, the first thing I see are these crappy capacitors that like to leak. These are what they use in the Trinitrons, right? These Panasonic Leak-O-Matic. So let's have a look at... Let's see if we can use this to inspect. This one looks like a time delay fuse, and it does not look blown, but this one I can't tell. Yeah, I just don't like the look of these capacitors. But why did it stop doing what it was doing? That looks pretty burnt, doesn't it? I was trying to sort of get a baseline of what was going on with it, but when it died, you know, we didn't have any control over the brightness. We didn't have any control over even the sound, the tone. So it's like that entire thing is offline. It's like that entire bank, this entire bank of pots right here is completely offline. Sensor pack. Horizontal drive. Okay, capacitor wizard to test the fuses. One-handed. That one is good. That one is good. Okay, the two fuses are good. Why did it stop doing what it was doing? Okay, well, I plugged it back in. Let's see what... It seems like it's working again. Now that's interesting because this thing, I don't think this thing has any kind of microprocessor safety interlock disable something. It looks like maybe someone was in here cleaning the thing. I wonder if they didn't hook something up right. These actually look like the connectors Sony uses. So good, nothing fried. Okay. I better start with a good visual inspection. Because this guy, he likes to take this stuff all apart and clean it. And then you guys that watch my channel know that I'm not a fan of that, really. I mean, you can blow it out a little bit and use a light paintbrush to dust it out with a little air, but taking it all apart and cleaning it, you're just asking for problems. You're just asking to create a problem that was not there. Especially with something that's, 50 years old or more. See, crap like this right here. That's obviously meant to be grounded. Why would it have that ring on it? You can't just leave screws out like that. That one too. You're going to do a half-ass cleaning job on it and leave stuff apart. Leave screws and stuff missing. Okay, screw has been installed. Let's see if there's any difference here. Where's the power button? Nope, no dice. You know what? It's got to be something like that, though. Either that, some chip or something was fried from it being... What is this thing's not even like put back together? Like screws are missing all over the place here. This ground here is loose. This obviously goes on the other side here. Well, the first 20 minutes is gone to straightening out the fasteners and the way it was engineered to fit together, so I got that. And I'm thinking this is either one of two things. Someone worked on this and gave up and slapped it back together and blew it out the door, or it was working and the owner decided he would try and clean it and make it look good on the inside where no one could see it, and broke it. And I don't know what is what. And so I guess what I'm looking for is something like that, where there's an open ground or one of these connectors was put on and it's off a step so it's not lined up right. But I'm not seeing any of that. I'm going to check a bunch of these capacitors. I know some of these sets have filters off of the flyback power supply, and if those go bad, it'll wreak havoc. But I've never seen one disable a set. Usually you get lines or something bright side of the picture or something weird. This thing just seems entirely disabled. But I'm going to check, since I got the capacitor wizard, I'm going to check a bunch of those blue caps. Well, there's only one that's checking marginal, and that is this one right here. C562. I did get the SAMs with it, so maybe Someone's been struggling to fix it. And I'm looking at the SAMs, and this is the power supply. And these things were just an inner looping nightmare. You can see this is where the power comes from the line and is rectified. And then it comes down, and it's also, I love the Darlington voltage regulator. It comes down and it's also tied to the flyback. This is the flyback right here. And so all these voltages are derived from the flyback. And like this 187 and that 4.7 capacitor, that's the one I thought might be bad, causing the weird behavior. Because that feeds the output transistors that drive the CRT. So I think a safe place to start is just to start measuring all these voltages. Because if something like one of these Zener diodes is shorted, you know, and a voltage is missing, that could definitely be it. So we could start with the 187. Okay. So on the 187 line, we got 167. And it looks like we got a 0.5 volt of AC, which is nothing. So that's low. Okay, this one's supposed to be 24 volts. 24.74, it's right on. You know, there's really not a whole lot to this. You got the CRT there, then you got your 3 output transistors, and then they all come back to this chip right here. And this chip contains the brightness right here. So the brightness drives into this. So if the brightness control is not doing anything, is this chip dead? Intensity. All the controls that weren't doing anything connect to this chip. So is this chip not getting voltage? Is this chip dead? IC301. Set chip is down here, right there, underneath everything. And I think I can get to that, though. I think I got the probes. I can get in there. Especially with the gloves, I won't touch or short anything out with my hand. Okay, pin 2 and 3 right there. I got to those. They're at 6.5 volts. And the brightness control should adjust those, and it's not. The brightness control is not moving those voltages at all. Pin 4 is the sharpness. It is correctly varying the voltage when I turn it. Why is brightness not having any effect here? Okay, well, the brightness has 12 volts on all 3 pins. And there's 6.8 volts on pin 2 and 3. So what the hell is that? 2700 ohm resistor open? So if I'm measuring the right thing, in order to have 12 volts here, here, and here, and 6 volts here, this is not connected to this. So we either got an open 2700 ohm resistor or a crack in the board or something. Well, nothing's open. It just varies at about 1/10 of a volt. But the sub-bright does vary it. The sub-bright does vary it a couple volts, but it doesn't change the brightness. I'm thinking that chip might be dead. So I think this might be the smoking gun for me, that the chip is bad. So pin 27, 28, and 26 right there. Those feed the bases of the drivers that drive the CRT. And if you look at this, 2.98 volts, 2.99, 2.93. So they're basically all 2.9 volts. Well, I'm going to measure them here. So 28, 5.94, 27, 8.1, 26, 2.4. So only one of the three is even remotely close. Now I did check all the other pins. They're all off, but not that far off like that. And that would explain why we just are blue. See, blue is pin 28. And 28 was the 5 volt one. Yeah, 5.9, 8.1. So 27, which is green, is the one that's 8 volts. I'm sure those transistors are just loving that. No wonder why that voltage is low. No wonder why that voltage is low. Because these damn transistors are turned on so hard, pulling all the current through those resistors. But then I'm checking these voltages here, and they don't make sense either. 10 volts on the base there. 5 volts on the emitter. The collector is 56 volts. 169. 169. The hell am I? Why does the audio make that sound when I do that? What have we got? 169 there. 97 there. 169 there. 169 there. What is going on here? Emitter is 5 volts. Base is 10 volts. Base is 1 volt. Emitter is 6 volts. What kind of crack smoking? This keeps getting more and more interesting. So down here I got red and blue drive controls, and I turned the blue all the way down, and it relaxes this transistor a little bit. It drops the voltage on the base. It drops the voltage over here on that pin. And let's see, did we lose our blue screen? Yeah. God, now it's very dim like nothing. I turn the red and it doesn't affect the voltage on the red transistor or anything. So I don't know what's up with this thing. Okay, well, something's wrong with the red, because here I got 12, 6, and 6 with this all the way down. Here I have 0.6, like 0.6, 0.6, and 0.6. So we're missing the 12 volts to this one. Okay. So I got 12 volts pushing back on this one. Or on the blue. I got 12 volts pushing back. That's why I got 12 volts here. And the voltages are so far off here. So where is that 12 volts coming from? Is it coming from the transistor? Or is it coming from the chip? I guess I could turn the pot to figure that out. Well, it doesn't appear to be coming from either, so I don't know what what this is, where this goes. I gotta look this up on the schematic. Well, this has taken me back to when I started working on TVs in middle school, when you'd just be up all night trying to find a problem, just chasing. This early solid state stuff can be so difficult to fix. And I remember pulling all-nighters on these things and just not even figuring them out. But back then, people used to want them fixed. Now it's like a hobby collector thing. So it's getting dark out here, so I'm going to wrap it up for tonight. I think first thing I should do when I get back to this is check the CRT if I have an adapter for it. This thing does sort of seem a little bit high hour, and if I'm spending a bunch of time to fix something that's got a dead tube, that would be, we have the equipment to verify that it's worth fixing. So I think tomorrow, first thing I'll do is try and test this CRT. I got the adapter here. I've got a couple of them actually. Well, let's see. 6.3 volts. 50 volts here. Okay. Oh, we got good cutoff. So we should have good emissions. The tube is not the problem. Yeah, this is a very strong tube. So it's not the CRT. Okay, we just got that out of the way. So what I'm really looking for is that comment that says, dude, you're an idiot. You'd actually have that TV fixed by now if you were using a scope. I always get that comment. You should be using a scope. On what? There's no AC signals here to look at. This is all DC problems. Something hard is not working in the flow here, and the DC biasing is all screwed up on everything. Why does the red drive pot do nothing and the blue drive pot do a lot? Why is the blue drive transistor getting hot and have the voltage pulled down on the collector? Why do we have all these weird DC voltages on that chip? Oh, and that on the schematic, that VIR board is right here, which is not on this set. Just because an oscilloscope might look impressive and intellectual doesn't actually mean that it's going to help you fix the damn thing if that's not the tool you need for the job. So anyway, so we got weird voltages on all of these bases, which translate to weird voltages on all of these pins here. So we either got a bad chip here or leaky transistors or multiple problems. These connections here, and here connect to these three here, which are this board, which is not on this set. That board would have been right here. So we can remove this from the mix. So I want to focus on trying to figure out why we got these weird voltages. Are those voltages coming from the chip or from the transistor? I think I may have just caught a problem here. Maybe. Okay, so I'm looking at following these wires from here back to here. So you have C12, C4, and C6 right here. C12, C4, and C6. Those correspond to these C numbers here. And those happen to be red, blue, and green. Right? The red wire, blue wire, and the green wire right here. And those connect to A4. So they come over here and they're supposed to connect to A4. Well, this is A4. And the connector with the red, blue, and green is going to A8. So did they get these two connectors swapped? And actually, I was going to use the meter to confirm that these pins did connect to this chip. And I noticed that's got an A8 on it. So, clean aside. And that has an A4 on it. Well, this certainly explains a lot. My initial gut feeling right at the beginning yesterday was that somebody didn't have something hooked up right. And there it is. Dumb design. Dumb design. I run into this with Chrysler vehicles all the time at the day job. I don't know why the hell they designed something with the same connector. It's very easy to just put one little index or something on the connector so that you don't get them swapped. It's just bad engineering. You know? I mean, that's an honest, easy mistake right there. Let's see if it performs any different. No, it actually seems worse. Do we have something else? Very possible something was damaged by doing that. Let's look at these voltages. Well, we do have one difference. We have snow on the CRT now. See, does the wow, the brightness works. But it doesn't look like there's any green. It's weird that that motorboating goes away when it... As it warms up, that motorboating goes away. So let's check these. 2.7, 2.7, 2.7. Wow. See, the motorboating's going away as it warms up. I don't have a green adjustment, do I? No, I don't have a green adjustment. I only have red and blue. We could put it in service mode. So yeah, we have no green. That's turning the red. That's turning the green. And that's turning the blue. So we have no green here. Something happened to green. Okay, I think that's something with the socket because... Okay, yeah, the green is a problem with something here. Which is most likely this right here. You can see that right there. That is going to be our problem with the green. Wow, we get to actually take a soldering iron to this one. Okay, we're getting somewhere now. All these solders have been reflowed. Wow, look at that. I can see that motor boating in the picture here. We should hook the signal source up to it and see if it's working, how it looks. Oh, there we go. Wow, even the tone works now. Where's the vertical hold? Okay, the vertical hold is right here. There we go. How we adjust the fine tuning. Let me see, vertical size. What do we have here? We have AGC vertical size. What is this? RFAGC. We are getting there. Well, the color demodulation works. It's just I got to figure out how to adjust the fine tuning. It's all working. You could start by putting it on the right channel. I had it on channel 8. That's the tint control. The pots are a little bit dirty. Brightness. Where's the color level control? There it is. Just maybe I should spray these pots a little bit while I'm in here, huh? Look at that. You've come a long way, baby, since your connectors were reversed. We'll just give each one of these a little squirt spritzer here. I'm more like drowning it, actually. And then we'll work it back and forth a bunch. And that's nice. That took the static right out of it. Wow, is that bright? This thing is so unbelievably bright, you just... It's a fine line there between your magenta and blue. And then this is your personal touch, soft to vivid, which I'm not quite sure exactly what. Let's see what this did. Oh. There we go. I had that stupid Dynacolor thing turned on. God, it is bright. Okay, we can use this to adjust the focus, which was pretty close. The convergence looks, it's a little bit off here. But we're getting there. I think we're just about there. The next thing to do is figure out why the audio does what it's doing. Let's test the audio here. Oh yeah, listen to that echo. What I'm curious about is there a bad capacitor causing that motor boating thing? And we do have some capacitors here. We have a coupling capacitor there into the audio chip where the volume control is, and we have another coupling capacitor there. Then we have two capacitors in the audio output. I'm going to let this thing cool off for a few minutes. And I guess I could spray those capacitors with freeze spray too, but I might, if I can get to them, I'll just check them. Went through with the capacitor wizard and I checked this, that, all good. And then I got to these, here's the speaker right here. And then I got to these two capacitors here. And those are these capacitors, and they are leaking and rotten. And see if I can zoom in on those. There you go. The bottom has popped out of that one. You can see the leakage. This is the back side of the board, and you can see it's all crusty. And so I'm going to replace those. I've got two new ones here, 200 microfarads. That is such a weird design how they have that configured, one going to ground and one going to 19 volts. That's kind of cool. So the problem here is the traces are just trashed. Wow. Okay, I got all that nonsense fixed and tested right there. These, I'm not 100% sure it's going to fix that motor boating, but you would think it would fix something. Okay, here's the moment of truth. No more motor boating, and it's a hell of a lot louder. Two new capacitors. Wow, I think we're going to have a winner here. We got two new capacitors for the internet, a cracked solder joint for the internet, and a mistake somebody else made while trying to clean it. Boy, the internet's going to be happy tonight. The green on this thing is almost very light green. There's blue. Red. The red is very orangish, and the green is a very light green. The blue is nice. It's just the type of phosphor that's in there. And this thing totally blacks out when it doesn't get a signal. So it shuts off the raster.
Move-in ready or a complete fixer. MyHomeSold.com makes selling your house easier than ever. When you sell to MyHomeSold.com, you'll save money with no commissions, no fees, no banks, no repairs. Just go to MyHomeSold.com for free, no obligation, as-is cash offer. Sell your house the easy way at MyHomeSold.com.
Touch can mean so many things.
Oh yeah,
Even for people with
Dupixent.
moderate to severe eczema. Touch can make two feel like one. Or simply be a helping hand. Dupixent can help you stay ahead of eczema as you welcome the feeling of touch. Dupixent helps block a key source of inflammation inside the body that can cause eczema to help heal your skin from within. Many adults saw 90% clearer skin. Some even achieved long-lasting clearer skin. And fast itch relief after the first dose. Severe allergic reactions
Here we go.
occur, Get help
Here we
right
go.
away for face, mouth, tongue, or throat swelling, wheezing, or trouble breathing. Tell your doctor of new or worsening eye problems like eye pain or vision changes, skin symptoms, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop other treatments without talking to your doctor. Dupixent, the #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists.
I love my parasitic infection.
See the difference for yourself. Reach out to your eczema specialist today.
We're gonna have a crazy weekend, y'all.
When a truck hit my car, the insurance company wasn't fair. I didn't know what my case was worth, so I called the Barnes firm.
I'm Rich Barnes.
Where's the contrast? I need to cut the contrast down a little bit. I guess maybe that's the personal touch. I don't quite know. The personal touch like contrast? I don't know, brightness up and personal touch down. Yeah, I guess personal touch is just contrast. Try and get the flesh tones right. There we go. That looks about right. Yeah. Hold on, I think I need to go see an eczema specialist.
60s or 70s who had to be rescued from the car. Firefighters did CPR, but it was too late. Deputies tell us they were not chasing the suspect. And in Rancho Dominguez, one person was killed in a crash involving multiple cars on West Redondo Beach Boulevard in South Broadway around 4:30 a.m. One of the cars had its passenger side doors and back half torn off by the impact of the collision. We're still waiting to learn more about the victim and if there were any injuries.
Story number 2, President Trump is attacking Vladimir Putin after Russia launched a fresh wave of attacks on Ukraine. KCAL reporter Natalie Brand is in Washington with what the White House is considering following this escalation.
President Trump marked Memorial Day by honoring U.S. service members killed in conflict.
Nice greens. Looks good. I wish I could turn the contrast down a little bit. But yeah, I'm happy with this. Sound is loud and clear.
Sending civilians running for shelter. This mom says she grabbed her child and covered it in a blanket for protection.
I'm not happy with what Putin's doing. He's killing a lot of people.
President Trump told reporters he's considering sanctions against Russia, and on social media said Putin has gone absolutely crazy. The president added, "I've always said that he wants all of Ukraine, not just a piece of it. But if he does, it will lead to the downfall of Russia." President Trump's sharp tone towards Putin.
Nice greens, nice flesh tones, nice and sharp. You can read the text. The horizontal is a little bit overextended. I don't like this, but a lot of sets do this.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, in a statement, said Russia's disregard for diplomacy and refusal even to consider a ceasefire.
Like a bystander in my
Here we go.
So I talked to my cardiologist, and he prescribed Camzyos.
Oh, Camzyos.
It works by targeting what's causing my obstructive HCM.
Camzyos is used to treat adults with symptomatic obstructive HCM. Camzyos may improve your symptoms and ability to be active. Camzyos may cause serious side effects, including heart failure that can lead to death. a risk that's increased with a serious infection, irregular heartbeat, or with certain other medicines. Do not stop, start, or change medicines or dose without telling your doctor. You must have echocardiograms before and during treatment. Seek help if you have new or worsening heart failure symptoms. Camzyos is only available through a restricted program. Before taking Camzyos, tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and current or planned pregnancy. With Camzyos reducing my symptoms, I've gone from sitting on the sidelines to being back in the game. My name is Stephanie, and this is my Camzyos moment. Call your cardiologist today and see if a Camzyos moment may be in your future too.
I want my heart failure